So today is installment 4 of my Menopause Mondays. I'm Kate Hartley, or Hartley when the brain fog really sets in. And today we're talking about menopausal brain fog because I think it's a symptom that affects most of us. And you know what the scary thing is, if you Google it, there are so many articles that say, is brain fog real? Of course it's real. If you were menopausal, of course you'd know it's real. Thank you for the heart, you guys. So that's what I'm chatting about today. And there are several reasons. I'm going to chat about basically why brain fog is an issue during the menopause and give you a few tips and things that you can eat, drink and take, and also lifestyle changes to help you manage brain fog better. And if I know I've got some guys on here, hey Claire, you fellas, I know you're not going to get brain fog from the menopause, but some of the tips I'm going to share later, thank you Raj, will help you with confusion and brain fog as well. So you don't have to be hormonally challenged just to get the benefit of this. But I'm specifically talking to us gals, so brain fog. I recently found my fabric conditioner in the fridge. I don't know how it got there. I mean, obviously I put it there, but what was I thinking? These things happen regularly. And it's really, really frustrating. And I think it's one of those things. I certainly remember when I was perimenopausal and I was quite young to start my perimenopause. I did actually consider, have I got some degenerative disease going on in my brain? Is it early Alzheimer's? And it wasn't a joke. I'd seen the film called Alice, still Alice. Brilliant film. If you've not seen it, go and watch it. It's amazing. Sad, but it's amazing. And I was thinking, well, I am a little bit confused at times, but I can still remember how to get home. And that was, for me, it was just like, I can still remember to get home. And actually, do you know what? As I've gone beyond the menopause, because menopause only is one day of your life. I didn't know that until recently. So you're either premenopausal, so you're before any symptoms, perimenopausal, which is when your hormones are starting to fluctuate, and it's that kind of, I think that's probably the worst stage of menopause, certainly for me it was. And then you have your menopause, which is one day, which marks 12 months since you had your last period. And then beyond that, you're postmenopausal. And that's it. But it's going to happen to us all. And if we are lucky enough to get to the age to have our menopause, then I think we need to be eternally grateful. And I'm looking, the way I deal with it is to look at it positively. It's going to happen, so you might as well accept it and get on with it and do as many lifestyle changes in order to try and surf that wave as well as possible. And yeah, I fall off that wave occasionally, but on the whole, doing so well so far. We've avoided the sharks and we've avoided the rocks. So brain fog was probably one of my worst symptoms, as well as hot flushes. Beyond that, gone pretty well. So why specifically do we get brain fog in the menopause? Hey David. Thank you Raj. Thank you Claire. We get brain fog because in our brain we have receptors that estrogen helps make more efficient. We have estrogen receptors in the brain, basically, is the better way of saying it. And when we're lacking in estrogen, our brain receptors are compromised. We can't remember things as well because we don't have as many receptors working effectively. And that is one of the main reasons why we struggle so much. In our hippocampus, so the hippocampus is like a horseshoe shaped thing at the back of our head, right deep in our brain. We have a section that goes over the top of our right ear and a section that goes over the top of our left ear. And that is a really dense area for estrogen receptors. So of course, when our estrogen's either all over the shop with perimenopause or declining once we've gone into postmenopause, it affects how we remember memories and how we create memories. So we don't actually store memories in the hippocampus, but that's where memories are essentially created. And then when we're asleep, they get taken to another part of the brain where they become longer term memories. But the thing to remember with that, so while we're going through the menopause, often a lot of us struggle with our sleep too. Insomnia can become a real problem. And if you're sleep compromised, you're actually not having that chance to put all those memories that have been created into the right boxes within the brain as well. It becomes more random. So it's a vicious circle. I think sleep is one of the cornerstones of healthy, optimal living. And if you struggle with sleep, actually go to my bio in my Instagram, and on the link tree in there, there's a sleep hygiene document which is completely free. Um, get that, and that will help you hopefully lay down some behaviours for healthy sleep. So it's a two-pronged process. Also, estrogen affects the density of the neurotransmitters in our synaptic and our dendritic pathways. So when we have got enough estrogen in our bodies and when it's stable, it's like driving along a road which is nicely paved, and there are no potholes or wrinkly bits. Whereas when we are lacking in estrogen, or our estrogen levels are all over, it's like driving through a pothole, and you think, Christ, what on earth was that? It's a bit like our roads in the UK at the moment. They're full of potholes. They drive us crazy. And if you've not got the density in those synapses, which are basically the messages from your body parts to your brain and from your brain to your body parts, they don't get there quite as fast. And that's something that I noticed myself. Just my work, I used to do classical ballet, so technically for me, I used to be quite well coordinated. I could put moves together quite well. Nowadays, even just to try and just do something that's relatively simple in my workout, I'm just so clumsy. My coordination is all over the shop. I literally am like a badly balanced elephant in a lot of my workouts. And I'm really relieved to find out that it's probably due to the density of those synaptic and dendritic pathways that are not quite as dense and well laid as they once were because of the lack of estrogen in my body. So that is pretty much why we get brain fog. So there is a biological process that happens, so you're not going nuts, I promise. And there are ways that we can improve that. So I always try lifestyle. I haven't used HRT, but if HRT works for you, then stick with it. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know about. I know obviously the risks involved with HRT or the potential side effects, but also some people benefit from it. So we have cancer and heart disease in our family, which are two of the main reasons I wouldn't consider HRT personally. And I know osteoporosis, bone thinning can be an issue for women postmenopausal, but my workouts, I think, take care of that because I'm doing a lot of load bearing workouts, and that increases your bone density. Plus, I eat loads of green vegetables, which are very high in calcium, and in actual fact have higher calcium levels than milk and dairy products. A lot of people don't know that, but it's true. So things that you can do, lifestyle changes, try and improve your sleep, because that will make a massive difference to your overall wellness. You'll be reducing the stress in your body. That's something else I wanted to say as well. Just going back to another reason why we get brain fog. Estrogen actually helps to protect us against free radical damage. Now, free radicals are everywhere. It's part of our metabolic processes. It's down to oxidative. I can't put my teeth in. Oxidative stress, and it's in the air we breathe. It's in the water we drink, it's in the food we eat, and as a part of our metabolism. So we're always going to be attacked by free radicals, and that's part of the aging process. Well, that's why we age, is due to free radical damage. And when our estrogen levels decline, the amount of protection that we have against free radicals also declines. So again, in the brain, we still get free radical damage in the brain. So if we are not dealing with oxidative stress, I must try and practice that word, as well as we used to do, what we want to do is make sure that we're reducing other stressors in our life in order to just give our bodies a bit of a help. So things like drink plenty of water, just flush the toxins out of your body, because then your liver's not being challenged as much, your kidneys are not being as challenged as much. Your liver's your main detox organ, and if you're not hydrating enough, your liver will take over the work of the kidneys, and then you're really putting your liver and your whole immune system under stress. Eat foods that are predominantly high in omega-3 fatty acids. we tend to eat way more omega-6 fatty acids than we do omega-3s. Omega-3s you find in nuts and seeds, walnuts specifically, and it's easy to remember walnut because it looks like a brain. It's really good for your brain health. Salmon, avocados, seeds, nuts, what else? Adaptogen herbs. Adaptogen herbs are just phenomenal. And there's one I want to share with you, cordyceps, this little adaptogen herb. It's just groovy. It's one I drink every day. I drink a series of adaptogen herbs in my nutrition shake, and cordyceps is one of them. And there's quite a story behind cordyceps. It's called the caterpillar fungus, and essentially it's this little fungus that grows out of the body of dead caterpillars. It's quite revolting really, but it does a lot of good. And entire communities go looking for these cordyceps, which grow in Asia in the mountains in the summertime. And they came to like public attention because Chinese athletes, I can't remember which decade it was, but female Chinese athletes in the Olympics were literally winning their running races by such a margin. And it was worked out, it's because they take cordyceps. They were eating or drinking cordyceps. And literally this industry is worth millions, and it's just this tiny little fungus that grows out of the back of a dead caterpillar. But it works, and it has an amazing effect on our brain health. Chaga is another adaptogen herb that I drink daily. That helps us with our brain health. It helps us fight free radical damage. Ashwagandha is another one, also helps with thyroid function. Lion's mane is a brilliant one for brain health and cognitive function and fighting free radical damage. So adaptogen herbs are really, really important in just helping our body deal with stressors more effectively. So again, that's something that you can just introduce into your diet daily if you really want to try and improve your brain function. It does help enormously. And then make sure you're working out. Make sure you exercise. You don't have to do workouts like I do. Just move your body. We all need to move our bodies, whether you go out for a brisk walk, whether you run, whether you're a CrossFitter, whether you're a swimmer, whatever it happens to be, but just do it daily. When we work out, we increase our heart rate. So it basically means blood is going through our system faster. And when blood is going through our system faster, we're delivering oxygen and nutrients to the parts of our body that might be a bit sluggish because they're towards the extremities. And obviously, brain is right at the top, so it has to go against gravitational pull as well. And it also helps us to get rid of toxins. It stimulates the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, so it relies upon our deep breathing and also exercise to make it work well. And our lymphatic system is what helps us detox. It gets rid of all the crappy stuff out of our bodies. So again, it's really important that we can do things that aren't on their own going to help us get rid of brain fog. God, I should put my teeth in this morning. But combined, they help reduce the stress within the body so that we are working more optimally to then counteract the things that we get, like low estrogen levels or volatile estrogen levels through perimenopause, low estrogen levels after the menopause. So I think that's pretty much all I've got for you. Is there anything else? And also just remember, it doesn't last forever. It doesn't. It gets better. The body is incredible at balancing and dealing with change, and this is change. It's going to happen to us all. And I think if we can try and get over the fact that it's a negative thing. There's so much negative talk around the menopause, and it's just a stage of our lives. And I know change can be discombobulating because it does involve getting used to a different perspective, but that's all it is. It's a different perspective, and there are things that we can do to help us through this change on every level. And I'm going to be talking about way more of the symptoms and stigma and all that sort of stuff in upcoming Menopause Monday. So if you've got anything specific that you want me to address, leave me a comment or send me a private message, and I'll make sure to include that in a future episode, because I just think it doesn't have to be a medicinal issue. And a lot of us are being prescribed antidepressant drugs for something that's a natural process. Yes, antidepressants have a real place in the right circumstances, but I don't necessarily believe that because you're menopausal that you should be on antidepressants. I think there are more functional ways of dealing with it, just my personal opinion. So we are so finely tuned, Claire, and it's just a matter of giving ourselves grace and take time out. That's another thing for brain health, is either get into meditation if meditation helps you, or if you've got a brain that can switch off. And if you've not got a brain that switches off, you might want to try and practice meditation more often. There are loads of free various meditations on YouTube. There's loads of free meditation apps. You know, brain health is absolutely crucial, and it's something that I think a lot of us need to be more aware of and take more active action, more action to prioritize our brain health, because if we haven't got it, the rest of us falls apart. And have a few moments every day, whether it's just 5 minutes. Try and take 5-minute moments where you just get away from the laptop if you're stuck in front of a computer most of the day. Just take time out, do some deep breathing, or just sit somewhere where it's quiet, or listen to the birds. Whatever you enjoy, just switch off for a few minutes regularly. And again, it just gives your brain time to defuzz a bit, recalibrate, and then get back to it. And increased anxiety. Now I will do one on anxiety specifically, actually, Claire, with the menopause, because in fact, I have done one on anxiety. I think it was my first menopause. So if you look on my IGTV or my YouTube, you'll get I'm pretty sure it was anxiety was the first one I did. But I want to actually dive into why we get anxious in more detail, because it's such a problem for so many people. So that's it, really. That's what I've got for you. So have a great rest of your week. I hope you're all starting it strong. I hope this has helped, and I'll look forward to chatting to you again soon. You take care.